I'm here this morning for the Valentine for our sister parish, and that includes those of you who are watching this Mass from home. Having visited post-COVID, your home parishes, you and I, we were together during COVID. I was in your living rooms. So by extension, you're a member of this parish and our sister parish in Jamaica. During previous visits, this will be the first time since COVID, and we're going at Easter week, we worshiped at the main and mission churches, and we helped those of us who were nurses, Andrea and Monica, helped at the clinic. There is a main church, which is a steel structure and some concrete and stucco on it. There is a mission church that has a more rectangular one-story look, and there is a clinic, which is a wooden structure with a tin roof. Over the years, we've painted all three structures. And on 2 additional visits, we assembled and painted 2 prefabricated houses. There will be on television screen pictures of the church and the main church, the mission church, and the clinic. All 3 of them were affected by the hurricane, but not devastated. 2 days before Melissa made landfall, I called Father Thomas, the pastor at St. Croix and Christ the King, and said, stay safe and be dry. He made light of the storm. Once I learned that the Black River Rectory, where he was staying, and its accompanying church of St. Teresa and their school, only 300 yards away from the coast, sat at 7 feet of sea level. I called him back and said, you need to get to higher ground because the storm surge will not be 7 feet, it will be 17 feet. And all 3 of those buildings were wiped out. Amazingly, there was little loss of life in Jamaica, 50 people. The passage of Hurricane Melissa over Jamaica on October 28 marked a watershed, in many ways, moment in the island's history. As a Category 5 storm with sustained winds of 185 miles per hour, Melissa was the strongest hurricane ever to make landfall in Jamaica. Churches, rectories, schools, and medical clinics of the Diocese of Mandeville suffered extensive destruction, while the local Catholic communities mobilized for relief and recovery in partnership with international humanitarian groups. Pictures that have been shown are those of the sky as you sat in the clinic because the roof was torn off. And what happened was volunteers and medical staff worked to salvage equipment and relocate essential supplies to temporary shelters, ensuring continuity of care for patients. Actually, the temporary shelters became the main church at St. Croix. The place where you sit, much smaller spaces, be the waiting room, and then there were smaller rooms, smaller than the St. Anne's Chapel, that became the pharmacy, the examination room, and other helping rooms. Although I do not have a picture of the church, there was a picture of people walking in a street that is filled with stone and a cement utility pole and light bent over, and off to the side was the church, which sustained minor exterior damage. I spoke to Father Thomas to prepare for this report, and AI helped me with a little bit of an outline, and we went over the 3 structures. St. Croix, Roman Catholic Church in Santa Cruz, structural damage was this. Shingles were torn off some, and the roof leaked. The windows were broken. That meant the water of just fell into the church. There was initially mold. The pews are still wet, and they keep moving them around, hoping to get the right kind of air to dry them out. Just this past week, they got electricity. They are still buying water. There is no internet. It's very hard to get into the church compound because the driveway, it's a gated compound, the driveway was washed out and the force of the water pushed the gate over, and the cement beside that held up the gate pushed that over. And in Jamaica, if there's an open space, that becomes places to put your cows. So when you come to Mass on Sunday, there's some cow patties that you have to avoid. They continue to have Mass at the regular time. There's 25 to 30 people. On occasions when we have been there, there's been as many as 100. There is a daily Mass only on Friday, and Father Thomas had to relocate to Mandeville, which is about an hour's drive away. They still continue to have an active youth ministry in that the youth are, they serve, they do the readings. The mother of one young person is the organist, and that young person is at the drum set, and a blessing to the parish. Of course, they lost all their hymnals, and Father said, we need a projector for the hymns, put them up on the wall. And I've talked to the deacons of the diocese, talked to Deacon Rick, and he and the other deacons are going to make sure that there'll be a projector with the right brightness and the right strength that people will be able to follow the lyrics of the hymns. The medical clinic, its pharmacy, examination, and waiting areas, as I said, they're all now in the church. Bishop John Prasad was ready to build a new clinic before the hurricane. So the blueprints are there and the money is available. And there was other plans for construction at the site of a rectory and places for visitors to stay, and a social hall. That's been put on hold. They do not have refrigeration at this time. As to the services that the clinic does, it continues to do primary care, treatment of chronic diseases, high blood pressure, diabetes, maternal and child care. There is a pharmacy, there's wound care, basic lab, immunization, and then referral to local hospitals. There are 2 doctors, one on Monday and Tuesday. Sister Veronica serves as the nurse for Wednesday and Thursday, and there is a full-time layperson, Letitia, who is the certified pharmacist. As to the mission church, the church is intact, but the doors are difficult to close. They're wooden doors. The ground also needs fencing. The 2 church signs, they're lost to memory in the wind. Their windows were not glass windows, stained glass, but aluminum windows that you crank open and crank shut. Some need replaced. The church needs painted, and that's what we, the visitors, will be doing while we're down there. There's a minor issue inside, but it's believed not to be mold. Sunday Mass continues at the Mission Church, but not the Sunday School. For both parishes, a significant number of parishioners remain displaced. Caritas, an arm of Catholic Relief Services is providing essential needs. And this includes tarps and roofs. And the Diocese of Mandeville is also helping. Resiliency and recovery. One of the things that, and you're seeing some pictures of paintings, those of you who are watching this at home, if you want to see do we still do the rebroadcast in the evening? 9 o'clock? Good. Harvest happens early in Jamaica. It's a warm country. It happens the Easter week, or just before Easter week. And so there is a harvest festival. And we plan to, that's when we're going down. And the ask that I have is for our Easter week visit, whose purpose is prayer and painting and mutual social support. Our visitors and the parishioners there. We've been there many times, so we know each other well. The 7 visitors are Monica Candera, Eileen Zabura, John Julian, Deacon Rick, his son Andy, and Deacon Chuck Williams, and myself. Not going this time, but have been there before, Jim and Andrea Ritter, and Jeffrey's getting married and he really can't go. He'd like to go, but he can't go. The cost will, we, the travelers, will be covering half of the cost of our flights. We will be staying overnight near BWI. We fly to Montego Bay. We will be lodging at bread and breakfast near the Sisters Convent. When we have guests from abroad or from our own country, when there are guests, we say, just put your wallet away. They don't have that kind of money there. So we bring money for our food, for our travel, for our lodging. To make this, and then we'll also be paying for painting supplies. But back to the food, to make the point, is Monica and one of the sisters are at the Harvest Festival, and there's a bake sale. Sister, would you like a cookie? Well, I would really like a cookie. So Monica takes care of paying for that, and they continue the conversation, Monica and Sister says, during the month, what I have in my pocketbook on average is 39 cents. Most of what happens in Jamaica for the priest and the religious is exchange of goods rather than large salaries. We have already received donations for the trip from the travelers, the Knights of Columbus, and anonymous friends, and that is covering more than half of the expenses. And we are turning to you. There are envelopes in the pews that you can turn in whenever you'd like to turn them in, and you at home would send an envelope in and just say Jamaica mission trip, and just send it to St. John's. You can find the address real easy, or just say St. John, Galbert, Johnstown. They'll find the post office box and get it to us. So the remaining amount is $5,700, and all excess proceeds will be hand-delivered to Father Thomas and the sisters. Bishop John offers these closing remarks. We are resilient and a very hopeful people. We are a faith-based people. We know that God will not abandon us. So I thank you here in the church, you at home, for being the helping, presencing hands of prayer and of generous support for our sister parish in Jamaica. And thank you for allowing me to be here, Father Matt. I'm right on time, too.